Coming up today on Entrepreneurs Worldwide.
Came to London. I promise I had £20 in my pockets. First night we stayed in Victoria Station. At the time they let you sleep inside the tube. All I've done since 1988 I was doing is work. What motivates me is failure. I didn't think about risks. Money does not motivate me. No. That is not my drive. As an entrepreneur, you always feel like you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Mental health is something a lot of entrepreneurs go through. There is no one entrepreneur that doesn't go through it.
We are so excited to have this gentleman sitting right in front of us, and he hasn't been easy to get. Tony Kitous, the founder of one of the fastest growing restaurant chains in the country, the Comptoir Group.
Thanks for having me. Comptoir Libanais is a small restaurant chain. We have about 35 restaurants in London, in Manchester, in Birmingham, all around the UK, and as well as in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, in Doha, in Milan, and in Holland.
I wouldn't say it's that small, Tony.
I was just thinking that.
It's small
it
because
just got bigger.
it took us a long time to get where we are. And a lot of people think it was fast, but I started working in London in 1988, 37 years ago.
Did I read that's when you arrived in the UK?
Yes, I arrived in the UK in 1988, yeah.
What brought you here? How did that come about?
No, it's... I came to London on holiday.
Oh, you're one of those that stay.
Yeah, on holiday actually. And I feel like I'm still on holiday because I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. And I love London so much. It still feels like a holiday. So I came with one of my best friends at the time. I just had my baccalaureate, my A-level, said, let's go somewhere different. We came to London. I promise I had £20 in my pockets. I had to borrow £50 from one of my dad's cousin. And we came not knowing where to stay, how long we were going to stay, what we were going to do. We knew nobody. So the first night we came, we spent in Victoria Station.
And you're from Algeria?
Algeria, yeah. A small town called Tizi in Algeria. So, yeah. Okay. Imagine you come from a small town, you land in London.
And your parents hadn't been here either?
No. My parents never... My dad probably traveled once before in his life. Yeah.
So you weren't running from conflict? There was no war during that period, was there, in Algeria?
Actually, there was none, but it was just after I came.
Right.
They started that kind of... No, it started in 88, actually. 88. Right before I came, it started.
Okay.
And then by the time I was here, then they already started all that. You know, they call it the dark years of Algeria or something, yeah. So it's just a coincidence. I didn't run away from it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of Algerians went to France. They went to Paris, right?
Yeah.
You're French speaking, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is why the Comptoir Libanais, it's a French influence.
Yeah. But I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me is coming to London, not to Paris. And the thing is, for me, I don't know, there was something about London. First night I came in with my friend, we didn't have much money, we had £70 in our pocket, so we wanted to last as long as possible. First night we stayed in Victoria Station. At the time they let you sleep inside the tube, overnight. Backpackers, we had our suitcases. And the next day we found one of our friends back home, had a brother here. So he invited us to stay with him. It turned out we were staying in a squat. So we were squatting. And for me, that squat, probably one of the best experiences ever.
Describe a squat.
I never knew what a squat was before.
No.
All I just see is an abandoned house that just derelict.
Okay. And how many of you were living in there?
There was me, my friend Nasser, and our friend's brother who took us there. And there was a few Irish, like 5 or 6 Irish people who were living there. It was an eye-opener. I've never had that experience before. But I didn't feel like, oh my God, where am I? There's no electricity, there's no water. I felt like
you're free.
I have a roof over my head.
Yeah.
And my £70 was my security.
And from a practical perspective, that's actually perfect because you got no real responsibility.
I was 18 years old.
Exactly.
I was like...
But what home had you left in Algeria? What kind of standard of living did you have there?
No, look, we weren't poor. Yeah. We always had food on the table. We had 3 tiny bedrooms We were my mom, my dad, my grandma, my 7 brothers. There were 10 of us in a 3-bedroom. It wasn't considered as being poor at the time.
Yeah.
But it was family with a lot of love. Very modest, but there was a lot of love.
And what was their work? What did they do?
My dad used to work for a government, very humble, a small job in with the government. My mother, she's a housewife.
Yeah.
She couldn't work anywhere because my mother was deaf.
Completely deaf?
Completely deaf.
Wow.
She never heard the voice of her children. Ever.
But I'm sure you're going to now tell me she was an amazing cook.
She's an amazing cook. She's an amazing mother. She's an amazing person. Every mother is special. There's many things shaped my childhood. People say to me, "Oh, when did you start? When did you start your first venture?" When you start, look back, say, "Yeah, I opened my first restaurant in 29th of November, 1993. I was 22 years old." Everyone's business starts from childhood. When I was 7, 8 years old, I used to live across the road from a football stadium, where my teams like the equivalent of Manchester United on their heydays.
Yeah.
And whenever they play, it was a sellout. So I go out early in the morning, I buy 10, 20, 30 tickets, depends how big is the game, and I sell, we call it black market, but touting or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So I used to sell tickets. And then after I ran out of tickets, I make sandwiches at home with my mom and I go and sell them. My mom was my accomplice. And we used to make lemonades and we used to sell it. I used to sell anything.
No, I get
and
that.
That's
I did the
how
same
I
at
feel like
night.
that's what shaped me. That's how it started.
Yeah.
And I had a restaurant on a pavement. I love chatting to people. Sandwiches, tickets, sandwiches. And you chat. It's like a restaurant. It's like hospitality on a pavement.
Yeah. Did any of your brothers get out? Were you the only one that left?
No, everybody's out now.
Everybody's
out.
You were the first.
I'm the first. I'm the oldest.
Tony, talk me through the 70 quid. So you've got 70 quid in your pocket.
So I had 70 pounds in my pocket. So therefore, I had that 70 pounds. I wanted it to last as long as possible before I go back to university, to start university for the first year. So as I was being here, I was enjoying myself, working odd jobs in restaurants, cleaning, washing up, cleaning the floor and everything. I was working as many hours as possible in order to make some money and to buy some clothes and go back home to start university. And then when time was arrived to go back home, I wanted to stay. And then my mom, "No, you can't stay." She was being very emotional with me. "You are the oldest of 7 kids. And you are the example of your brothers. And, if you leave, what are they going to do? You are our rock." And she kind of touched my feelings. I went back home. And then I went back home. The next day, I promise you, I went to the university. Half an hour, I walked out.
Brilliant.
As if I left something back in London.
Yeah.
So I walked out of university. I went to my mom and dad, said, "Mom, Dad, I want to go back to London." At first, they didn't want me to. They kept me trying to make me change my mind for 3 weeks. They sent me everybody in my hometown. My teachers, my neighbors, my friends, my school friends, my cousins, my aunts, to make me change my mind. I was so stubborn at the time. I was 18 years old. When you are 18, you think you know everything. Yeah. That's what happened. And I don't know how. When they realized after 2 weeks, I said to them, "Look, Dad, if you think you're going to make me change my mind, I've stopped going to university. I went once." That's when he understood.
Did you have a concept in your mind at that point or any kind of inkling that you would start your own thing and actually start? What was the turning point?
No,
when you
I think
realised?
as a young kid, we always dream. I had this gut feeling I wanted to do something eventually in my life. But at the time, I just wanted to come back to London. Mm-hmm. And my parents' blessing was very important. Once I had their blessing, after 2 weeks, I just needed that. Then they let me travel. When I landed, I promise you, this is exactly when I landed in London, I had my trolley coming out of the customs. And then I heard a voice in my head says, "Look, now you're by yourself. You left your mom, you left your dad, you left your family, your brothers, everything behind. And in 4 or 5 years' time, all your friends that would come out of university with a degree, one is a pilot, one is a doctor, one is an architect." And I said to myself, I don't want to be a kitchen porter, washing dishes, or working in cleaner for the rest of my life. So within the next 4 to 5 years, when my friends come out of university with a degree, I need to have my own business.
That voice was a positive voice. That was
that was a positive voice.
Okay.
Came out of discomfort. I added pressure to myself, and it's like a business plan. With 4 to 5 years time, I need to start something.
Yeah.
I was only armed with one thing: the hunger to survive and the hunger to succeed. And what I've done is I didn't want to go back home empty-handed with my parents. Like I spent 4 or 5.
Where were you intending to live?
I went back to the squat. I mean, there's a story after that.
Where
So
was the squat?
it was in, I know it exactly, 62 Gloucester Drive,
Brilliant.
London Manor House,
Oh, really?
N4. I remember I sent my mom that letter. I remember it very well.
N4.
N4, yeah. When I came back, so that voice said to me, in 4 or 5 years' time, you need to start your own business. All I've done since 1988 I was doing is work. I was doing 16, 18 hours a day. 2 jobs, 3 jobs. I was enjoying it. I was hungry. And every morning I wake up and say, God, I just want to open that first business, that first restaurant.
You knew it was going to be a restaurant.
I think it was easier for me to be a restaurant. I knew it was going to be a business. 90% was going to be a restaurant because that's all I know. It's working in restaurants. I love food. I love this. Yeah. And that's really what shaped me, what drove me to open that restaurant.
Tell me about the first restaurant.
I used to work there as a waiter. And then one day went to work and there was a sign that the restaurant was closed. The owner at the time didn't pay the rent. And then went back the next day, it was the same. The second day was the same. Then after a week, I saw that, I think this restaurant is not going to reopen. So I contacted the landlord. I said to him, I want to come and see you. I'm interested in renting the place. I want to buy a suit. I bought a tie. I bought a briefcase. And I knew they were going to ask me about money, so I had my bank statement. Because at the time I had 62,000 or 64,000 pounds savings.
Wait, how did that happen?
Hang on, hold on. Let's back up here. You'd saved £64,000.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, okay.
So you basically
I was
just
working.
worked.
Wow.
I sleep and I work. I
got
sleep
no
and
rent.
I work.
Hey.
He's got no rent.
No,
Tony,
I didn't sleep.
Tony, do you think that's any reason why you actually said that you haven't ended up with a partner because you've never actually spent any money on anyone?
Probably, yeah. Subconsciously, I was on a mission.
I tell you what, I can't think you bought that many drinks if you'd saved up.
It happens. I don't drink actually. As an 18-year-old, I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't take anything.
And also, I suppose you're into squats.
I didn't squat. Eventually, after the squat, I was doing different jobs. Then I got offered a job in a hotel to be a male chambermaid, and they offered me live-in. So I upgraded. So they offered me free accommodation. So
brilliant.
I was ducking and diving. I was surviving.
Yes.
Love it.
So I've done so many jobs. So I could work 2 or 3 jobs at the same time. And I go to all my friends at work. I tell them, if you want a day off, let me know. I will work. They never understood.
You're waking up in the morning. Did you have that overwhelming sense of urgency that never left? Has it left today?
I'm still just as hungry. I think I dream more now than I was dreaming when I was 18 years old. Because I feel I could do more.
So you go to the bank with a 64K.
Yeah.
You can prove it. There it is.
Yeah.
What are you asking for?
So I went there, and I remember it just finally that day. I still remember inside, as if it's as if I'm living it today.
It would be.
I come out of Bond Street Station.
Yeah.
I have a tie. I have a suit. I have a tie. I don't know how to wear a tie. So there's a shop called Woodhouse on St. Christopher's Place.
I know exactly where that was.
I walked in. Near Coconut Grove or something the other time.
Yeah.
I walked in and said, I'm so sorry. I injured my arm. I can't do my tie. Can you help me? I was so embarrassed to say. So they helped me put it on. So I walked in there.
Brilliant.
Wow. The guy looked at me, and I had long hair, ponytail, with a tie. And oh my God, it was like that look of a 22-year-old. And I knew what they were going to ask me eventually. I had that gut feeling. I knew they were going to ask me, so you're so young, where's the money? I showed them that bank statement. He looked at it. He gave me a lease. He said to me, this is the lease, give it to your lawyer. And there's details of my lawyers here, our lawyers, then let them get in touch. The hotel was Mandeville Hotel. It was a very, very nice family ran it, Mr. Batesa. I mean, for me, I'm ever so grateful for giving me that opportunity when I was 22 years old.
What nationality was he?
He's Indian.
Indian,
yeah.
Okay.
And he believed in me and he gave me that opportunity. I'm always grateful for whoever gave me opportunity. I mean, I always tell people, be grateful to whoever along the way helped you and supported you.
Because you never know who you're going to meet on the way down.
100%. And for me, the way down is always behind you, by the way. You never know.
It is.
In life,
You're
it doesn't matter
so
who.
right.
It doesn't matter who you are.
100%.
There's always something behind you.
Yeah.
And in fact, for me today, what motivates me is failure. They gave me a lease. So lawyer looked at this, said, give me a couple of days. I'll go through it and come back to you. The next day, early in the morning, the lawyer, I remember his name, we always remember our first lawyer's name is Paul Houston. It was a very nice chap. He did almost for free for me because he knew I was starting. He didn't even think it was going to happen probably at the time. So he said to me, Tony, I would not recommend you to do this because it says the lease, but it's actually not worth anything because the landlord can give you notice, 6 months notice at any time. It would kick you out. I would not advise you to do it. And that's not what I wanted to hear from my lawyer.
Of course.
So one of my uncles had a friend here. So I thought, maybe I remembered him afterwards that he lived here, but I never knew him. So I called him once and said, I need an advice. I found this property. It has a 5-year lease, but with a 6 months break clause. I said, my lawyer advised me not to take it. He said, how old are you? I said, I'm 22. He said to me, what are you doing now? I said, technically nothing. I'm just looking to open a restaurant. So what do you have to lose? I said, nothing. I said, these are your answers.
That's a good feeling.
And I just went for it. I wanted someone to tell me what I want to hear at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then boom. That's
Well,
when
you've got
it
your
started.
62K to lose.
Huh?
I'm being sort
Devil's
of
advocate.
devil's advocate because this podcast isn't about me, but I was in exactly that same situation. I had 25K.
Yeah.
So what have you got to lose?
had nothing
It's
to lose.
actually nothing. Do you know why? Because you're young enough
I
to
was-
make it all
I
back.
didn't think of
you
it
don't
that
have,
way. I
you
didn't
don't
think
have
of-
family. You don't have anything. You don't have any of that to worry
Maybe
about.
because I didn't have family, I didn't have this, I didn't think of it.
That's right.
I didn't think about risks. There was no risk for me.
What's
I just
your-
look at everything's positive. I believe.
What's your relationship with money today?
Terrible.
Is it? In what?
Because money does not motivate me.
No.
That is not my drive. If money was my drive, probably I wouldn't.
But you say it's a terrible relationship. Why?
Because it's not. I don't want to change me. I don't want to. We all need money to live.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. So I don't know how to handle money when I have money. I have my family. When I say I have my family, I have my five brothers and sister and my mom. They are my close family. I just make sure.
Do you feel you don't deserve it or something?
No, I don't. It's not that I feel I don't deserve it. Maybe in a way I feel guilty or something. Maybe it's a question that I never asked myself. I don't have a great relationship with money, to be very honest. I think I ran a business. Of course, we need to run a business. Yeah, the business has to be successful. I want to build. I want to do more with our team and everything. Because obviously, I talk to you, but it's all about the team. But money doesn't motivate me. It's not my number one motivator.
So what's
at all.
driving you?
Hunger to succeed, and sometimes I say
But
to
you
myself,
succeeded.
I want to prove, not necessarily to my mom, because it's always something that is causing
Monkey on
the
shoulder,
person who we are today. There's something that happened to us when we were young, some kind of trauma. I was born in a family where my dad was very humble. When I was 8, 9, 10 years old, on one day, I could earn more than my dad earned in a month when I used to sell tickets. So I felt like I was my dad wasn't well off. We weren't poor, we had food on the table, but we had a happy life. So, but my dad's brother was a self-made, very successful self-made. From my mom's side, they're all successful. So we were like in the bottom of the plate where we were the poor cousins.
Poor
So
relations.
I think that helped me to drive me. I said, when I was young, I said, I don't want my kids, one day I'm going to have kids, to go through what I go through. And I don't want my nephews to feel the same as I felt about my
Do
cousins.
you strategize your personal life as much as your business life?
No.
No.
But now maybe with age, with time, I'm trying to look after myself better. But my work was my life.
Tony, so that first restaurant, what was the food? What was the concept in that first restaurant?
be honest,
was it Lebanese? Was it?
No, it was not Lebanese at the time. At the time, I carried on. The restaurant was closed. At took on the chef.
The fact that it was closing, they must have been doing something wrong. What did you do right to keep that going?
At the time, I had to struggle for so many years before. It wasn't success overnight. Success came around 2002, 2003. I was down more than I was up, but I never gave up. Failure was not an option for me because I had nothing to fall back to. I was at the back of a cliff.
What a fantastic idea to bring Middle Eastern food, Lebanese food, which actually, do you know what I love about it? Is it's so clean. It's clean food. Do you know what I mean by clean? And I just think to make that into a chain, you've seen a hole in the market there.
I believed in it. And what happened before, I knew how good Lebanese, Middle Eastern, North African food is. But the rest of the world, they don't do it. Unfortunately, at the time before it was stuck in Edgeware Road, people put it as like it's the ghetto.
Yeah.
I wanted to share it with the rest of the world.
Absolutely.
I wanted to give the food, the experience, the design, the decor, and the hospitality. I want to give them an experience.
How did you craft the sensory experience of entering your restaurant for all nationalities?
First of all, I always had the dream to open a place for everybody, from a student to a nurse to a doctor to an architect, and nobody will feel out of place.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give them a taste of our food, but at the same time, taste of the experience. Because I just didn't want to do just the food. I also wanted to give them the opportunity to buy spices that they normally wouldn't find in Tesco, Waitrose, or Sainsbury's. Our rose water, the orange blossom, the date molasses, the pomegranate molasses. I want to give them the flavors of our culture.
Yeah.
And then the design, I filled it with nice, colorful bags that you buy in the souk in Marrakesh.
And that's what it feels like when you go into your restaurant.
And I wanted people to travel. When they come to the restaurant, as if they ended somewhere.
The one thing I want to ask you as a businessman, is there good margin in that kind of food?
It's very tight.
Is it
it's
tight?
very tight.
Before you said that, I would have thought the margins were much tighter on good British food. I thought you might have better margins in your kind of food.
People, that's what people think. The grass is greener somewhere else. To be honest, we have a very good. I mean, look, I'm here talking to you today, but I feel like I'm talking on behalf of our team. Because
of course
it's a teamwork.
Of course.
Just like you, I have an amazing business partner who's also the CEO. He's like a brothers. And we work as a team. There's also, we have another 850 staff work with us. Only just directly that work with us. So it's a big team. So we are conscious. Today's world is very difficult.
I just want to hear about these margins because, for example, people tell me pizza's the best one to be in.
Pizza probably is the best because it costs you
It costs nothing.
It costs nothing,
Yeah.
and the staff are not necessarily skilled. And it's very easy to make. It's quick to make, and also it's already positioned at a certain price. People expect it.
Yeah.
With the Lebanese or Middle Eastern, North African food, what people already think they still think in their mind should be Edgeware Road prices, one. And second of all, we import a lot of stuff, all the spices, a lot of things, the tahina, the sumac, the za'atar. What people don't realize in restaurants, when you have £10, you say, okay, a dish would cost you £3. What they don't understand out of that £10, £2 of the £10 goes to the VAT man.
Yeah, of course.
You're left with £8.
Yeah.
Then you have £3 out of that £8 becomes £5 left. Out of that £5 left, you take another 30% for the wages. So you left like £1, then the rent, then the expenses. So it's very tight. So it's really, you need to be the chef, you need to be the creative, you need to be, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about especially the team behind. They make sure that we buy right.
Yeah. Should we get on to NI?
Yeah.
And how that's affected your 600
I mean, it has affected definitely. I mean, just one decision.
It's horrendous.
Nothing changes, then boom, you add another £1 million to your...
Yes, but do you have to then put that price up?
You have to find it, scrap the barrel. You know, it's cracked. Every single area.
In Dubai, I mean, you will not have those kinds of overheads. Where is your main
No,
base?
because in
Are
Dubai,
you-
it's in
you're a
the
limited
it's in the
company?
airport. It's in the airport.
Ah, okay.
It's in the airport.
Okay,
So
okay. At what point did you change from a limited company to be a PLC?
you see, we always wanted to Shaker, my business partner, CEO, we always wanted to
And you
expand.
floated it.
And
on
the bank was supporting us for so many years.
Yeah.
And then we arrived to a point where the bank says, guys, you're growing.
Yeah.
We can't. So we decided to look at different ways at raising. We have a very clear, there's certain things I look after. I look after the food. I look
Yes.
after, when I say the food, looked after the menu, the design, the way the marketing, the PR, the vision, anything that customers see. And of course, we work together as well. But Shaker looks after anything to do with running the business. For me, talking about the finance, I remember Shaker, when the first day he started, he was spending more time with the accountant than with me. Look, he wanted to understand the business, needs to be healthy. At the time when he joined, he wasn't healthy. So together we worked. He took ownership straight away. The moment he came in, it's very rare. So a business partner, people think this is very easy to have.
Did you know him already?
I knew him as a customer.
Yeah.
But you don't know someone.
Of course you don't.
Really, until you travel with a person, or you live with a person, or you work with that person to get to know the person.
Especially with your finances.
I mean, to be very honest, I don't know. It happens very quick with him straight away. He felt they took a lot of big weight off me.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, you always
yeah.
feel like you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
Lonely
the best
place.
thing that's ever for me that's ever happened to me professionally is working with Shaker.
But let me ask you this, Tony. That's a big deal to float, right? But when you float, you're answerable to all these other people. This isn't just you deciding, I'll do this, that, and the other. Do you feel like you've lost a part of something?
I mean, it's a very interesting question because when we were about to float at the time, my business partner, Shaker, was also a CEO. We looked eye to eye and says, is that what we want to do? We both looked at each other. Without a word, we just know that yes, we want to do. Because there's certain things. We see a business partner, a real business partner, you do everything with. You argue, you cry, you hug, you kiss. But there's a lot of arguments, a lot of tension because it's like a husband and wife.
100%.
And sometimes we don't have the same opinion, but on that, we decided it was the right thing for us to do. So at one time, I wasn't comfortable because when you go public, you need to share with everybody. And I don't like talking finance with everybody. I don't like to tell people. And I didn't want our customers to feel different. I didn't want our call them guests, to feel like, we floated, we sold ourselves.
You call them guests.
I want I would call them our guests because this is what they are.
That's
In our culture, when people come to our home, our restaurants are our home. When they come to our home, they are our guests. We look after them.
That's lovely.
So we didn't want our guests to feel like, oh my God, they listed and they sold out. And that was always my worry. I was telling Shaker, but there's also, I didn't want our team to feel the same. I felt like we were selling out.
But I suppose you did it because the only way that was to grow.
Yeah.
Yes, but because our company culture with Shaker, it was our team first, and then our customers, because it's the team that look after our guests. We didn't have to worry about anything. We had our values. If someone today, even though we're listed, if one of our employees, team member lost someone, we're there for them financially. We're there. We send them money to help them to. We work. We don't think like we have to respect everything that the PLC rules, but we still run it as if we're a family business.
That's what's enabled you to grow all these restaurants. I want to ask you one thing. I'm reading. In 2022, you had a few problems with the board.
Yeah, it's a little bit very much. Shaker and I were like this. We're like one hand. It's like, one can do one thing. Yeah. We're really, and there was tension. And that was very badly handled from my side, and we should have dealt with it. I don't like confrontation.
Is this a tension because you're wanting to go different directions? Is that why?
It was tension that was building up during COVID. Things we couldn't do.
God, that must have been a nightmare for you.
I wanted the creativity. Shekhar also supported me with creativity, but at the same time, that creativity comes with money. It was so many things we wanted. But one thing is very, very important. We always stayed like, we had this thing, we talked about it a lot with Shekhar, but that love we had, it's almost like, like when a couple decides to split and then they realize what reunites them is stronger than what divided them. We stayed in touch. We had that respect. We had that trust.
Oh, you actually went your separate ways in 2020?
For about a year and a half, and then eventually we working together again. Still our CEO, still back as our CEO and my partner. But probably I would say that made us realize what I took for granted when we were in the middle of things.
Yes.
And then, as I said, what reunited us is stronger than what divided us. And if I call that a mistake, I would say it's the best mistake I ever made professionally, because what we learned a lot from it. We realized together we're better than
apart.
When you came back together, did you start to expand more ferociously? I mean, did you start
first, we had to work together. I mean, he just came back about 8 months ago.
Okay.
9 months ago, yeah. But we were always like, even during that split, when people think we were together, we used to see each other, we used to talk to each other. It was a mistake that we could have handled with better, more talk. That's why sometimes communication is key in everything in life. But when that love and that respect is so strong, nothing can split us up. I've learned a lot from that. We knew each other very well. We knew we should have handled it differently.
Do you know that probably needed to happen?
Yes.
It matured me a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I learned a lot from it.
Business is one massive roller coaster.
A lot of people,
it's a massive roller coaster, isn't it?
100%. And by the way, people see you, they look at this, but what they don't realize, you go down 20 times.
Yeah.
You get up 21 times.
Yes.
There's always that one time.
One thing I'm reading, which I thought was really interesting, you've got 6 franchises.
We working very closely. We treat the franchise restaurant as exactly the same as our restaurants. We don't say, this is a franchise. This is our brand. This is our name above the door. Shekhar and I and the team are very conscious. My dream is to make Lebanese and Middle Eastern food as popular as Italian food.
How did you manage to get an airport spot?
Airport?
Yeah, a spot in the airport.
Funny enough, the airport asked for us. It was
but did all of them ask for you? No.
I wish it was. At the time it was Heathrow and Gatwick. We were so different. And that's why the airport wanted us. We were excited. We were, and you at the time.
Of course, it's obvious that you're going to have those restaurants in Middle Eastern hubs, but you're not scaring the Europeans.
I divide the restaurant in many compartments. The food, because that's what people come to a restaurant for. I have the design, I have the atmosphere, the hospitality, and the ambience. So the food, if I put it in a white box, it would still be very good. But I also wanted people to feel that experience, that it's inviting. And I want them to feel like they're somewhere in Algiers, Marrakesh, Istanbul, Beirut. I feel like I want them to travel.
It's genius, actually.
It's brilliant,
And if
Tony.
they want to buy something, they can buy it. They can take a little box of dates.
If you didn't have that deep, deep passion that's so evident when you speak, then I think Comptoir would not be as successful as it was. I mean, I think
I think this is the same for every business.
You're in everything.
I think this is
every
the
part
same
of it.
for every business.
Yeah, I agree.
You need to love what
Yes.
you do. You need to have that passion, because passion, you can feel it.
How are you training that team?
Okay.
How are you getting that service and that joy and that Middle Eastern experience with all those staff? How are you keeping your chefs? Who's training the chefs? The waiting staff?
Okay.
That is a whole different ballgame in itself.
I think that sums up the question that Rose asked me earlier, probably my number one challenge. Every restaurant, every business, number one challenge is the team. It's a little bit like bringing up kids. Everything depends on their education, how you bring them up at home, and that's the result you see. Team is like family. They're like your children. They are our most important people, our team, because they are the one that looks after our guests.
Of course they are.
So therefore, it's hard. It's very, very hard, especially since Brexit.
Oh,
Brexit, the pandemic.
Totally.
Now we find it so hard. We still have people that worked with us for 25 years. 25 years, 20 years. Not as many as we'd like to. Especially in the restaurant business. People know the restaurant business, people just pass by. They fill the gap when they work in restaurant. Not many people take it as a career. But the ones that stayed with us 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 5 years, it's a blessing for us. But the most important thing is the team, is to look after that team.
If you could you fill the restaurant full of authentic Middle Eastern staff?
The honest truth, I need a lot of Middle Eastern stuff because...
Otherwise you haven't got the...
Yeah, because not full of it, because I like to make sure everybody... I create something for everybody.
Yeah.
I want something very cosmopolitan. I want to... But because we need it to... This team, for example, we need to have some Middle Eastern chefs, Algerian, Moroccans, Lebanese, Syrians, Egyptians, in order to train the rest with the food. Also waiters and waitresses, because to teach other team members with this culture. But what's very, very important is we want to create something where everybody is happy, where everybody, it's one world. London is a melting pot. You know, I never felt once in 37 years I was not at home. You know why? Because it's all the nationalities of the world in one pot. And this is what we're trying to create in our restaurant. It's very important.
Do you ever get tired?
Tired?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm human. I go through a lot of course personally as well.
How do you deal with that? Because you're a very passionate, deeply loving man, and it's evident. How do you keep Tony topped up?
Look, I think, unfortunately, I've learned that a lot later. Mental health is something a lot of entrepreneurs go through. There is no one entrepreneur that doesn't go through it. It's a lonely world out there. You know, when during the day the lights are shining, you have all these interviews, podcasts, TV, but when you are at night by yourself, you cry by yourself, you stress by yourself, the anxiety by yourself. What helps me? I was very lucky. I was always into sports. I ran marathons. I did over 50 marathons, ultra marathons, 250 marathon this up, 250 kilometers in the deserts. I train a lot. This is what keeps me in.
Do you feel if you push yourself as hard as you can in sport, you are then able to deal with the pressure and the constant problem solving of being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, and I feel like I deal with things better when I train, when I eat healthy, very healthy. I eat extremely clean, healthy, because that's the one thing that helps me. I keep that creative mind.
Have you ever been wild? I mean, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you are extremely disciplined, a very disciplined, from what I can hear, individual.
The fact that I never drank alcohol, that probably one of the best things ever helped me in my life and my career.
Really? I agree.
Because with the stress, with the anxiety, what people do, they turn into alcohol and substance. And the fact that I work in restaurants, how difficult is it to get a vodka, a tequila, or a whiskey on daily basis, especially when people, you know, every day you sit with 10, 15 different tables to say hi and they offer you a drink. You'll end up drinking a bottle a day.
Where is Tony today? How are you with yourself? What have you understood and learnt? You know, where is your wife? Would you like one?
I'd love, of course.
How are you going to steer that ship?
Of course, I'm more conscious now than I was when I was in my 20s, 30s, or 40s. I paid 100% attention to my work. My work was my life was my work. And I loved it so much. I do not regret. I cannot regret, because it's part of me. And that's what made me the person I am today. Eventually, 100%, I'm thinking about my personal. I wanted to make sure I would never, I'm the type of person who never retire, but I need to also a little bit of me time. So eventually, this is something that I try to balance. I never knew how to balance.
Because it's often an issue with entrepreneurs. Do you struggle actually saying to someone, okay, I need you to do this, and hand over the areas of work? Or are you still holding on to the...
I mean, it's difficult.
I can see the glint
It's
in
difficult,
your eye.
but I've learned, because it's not a choice. When you expand... And when you work with a team, I am so fortunate. I am so lucky to be working with a business partner like Shaker, because he took a lot of weight off my shoulder, so much weight off my shoulder. He helped me focus on working on the business, and he works in the details. So that control in the beginning was very difficult. But eventually I learn bit by bit and bit by bit. And it depends what you want to do in life. If you really want to grow and expand business, then you need to have a team that you trust. Yeah. Trust them to do, and let them make mistakes.
You were saying that you walk everywhere.
Yeah.
You're walking between your restaurant bases.
My meetings. If it doesn't rain.
What meetings are you having?
Depends. I meet with an agent. I meet with our designer. I meet with our executive chef. I meet with Shaker. I meet with all our team and meet with people.
So you left school at what, 16, did you?
I left school at 18.
18,
yeah.
Okay.
I've learned all this on the street. I mean, to be very honest, of course I went to school. I think my education was on the street.
Yeah.
And it's probably the best education. My mom and dad gave me the best love, the best education that parents can give. School taught me how to read and write, but school doesn't prepare you in life. The streets prepare you in life. Yeah. Failures prepare you in life. All the mistakes you make are your strength today.
Tony, you are an incredibly selfless man. You're almost like, you're the archetypal servant leader in a sense, where you are just so focused on what you can do for other people and how you can be inclusive and include people. Who's giving to you? While you're giving out,
I don't like. I'll be very honest. I think I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to share. I share with my family, I share with my friends, and I don't feel comfortable taking.
There was a wonderful woman that walked into your life tomorrow, and she's fabulous.
Yeah.
Would you jump at that opportunity, or would that be something?
I think now, I would.
Okay,
I would.
now.
Yeah, of course, I want to share. I want to share more with someone that will be intimate with.
Could you receive from her after years of giving out servings?
Yeah, I mean, I just...
The right woman.
The right woman. All I need is humbleness, simplicity,
well, you might as well get it out there, Tony. Who's your ideal woman? What is your ideal type? Just in case.
And it doesn't matter if you don't describe her. We won't be offended.
I'd love to describe her, Richard,
Tony's
but you know what? She's a taken woman. She's very happy as well.
Hey, listen, no, there's always a price. Always a price.
No, I think for me, it's very. I just someone simple, really, really simple and humble. That's all I need. Simpleness, humbleness,
kindness.
I mean, people sometimes. I was refurbishing one of my flats, and I wanted to rent a small flat. I promise you, just happened to be yesterday. The agent calls me. He says to me, "The landlord just called. He has concerns." I said, "What's the concern?" He said, somebody of your position, and you're renting this flat that is students or workers. And he find it so strange. He said, "Look, I am a very humble person. I just live a life. Whatever I do at work doesn't change me." So the reason I'm saying this, because a lot of people think of you as if you live in this different world. People, they judge you or they think of you. But for me, I just want someone who is happy to live a simple life and happy life and very discreet life. That's all I need.
We've done a lot of podcasts, and we've met some incredible people. And I have to say, you have absolutely warmed the cockles of my heart as a entrepreneur. And what I think I respect so much about you is there is that genuine humbleness. It's being grateful for what this country has offered you and the opportunities it's given to you and the hard work that you've put into it. And you have made this place and the restaurant business better for it. Thank you so much for coming on Entrepreneurs Worldwide. I'm actually welling up talking to you actually because I just think you're absolutely wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Can you do us a favour? Can you hit that follow and subscribe button? You can find us anywhere where you get your podcasts on Entrepreneurs Worldwide. And there'll be a new episode every Wednesday at 5 a.m.